Welcome to NCPDP Unscripted, the podcast where healthcare meets real talk. Each episode, we will dive into unscripted conversations with industry leaders, changemakers, and innovators discussing the challenges, breakthroughs, and behind-the-scenes stories you won't hear anywhere else. Whether you're on your morning commute or taking a break between meetings, settle in because it's time to get unscripted.
Well, Mindy and Christian, welcome to the new podcast, NCPDP Unscripted. Super excited to have you guys here. I know we just had the official passing of the gavel, so excited to have you here.
Thank you.
Thanks
This is
for
so
having us.
fun.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
So I know our NCPDP members know you guys, but some of our listeners may not. So Christian, I'm going to have you introduce yourself, and then Mindy, and then we'll dive in.
Thank you. Well, my name is Christian Tadrus. I'm the outgoing chair of NCPDP. I wear a lot of hats, as we like to say. I'm an independent pharmacy owner, involved in working in a community setting in a proactive way. And I'm a member of a board of pharmacy. I sit on a PDP board. I'm engaged with Community Pharmacists National Activities. We have clinical care services on a nationwide network, and there are a few other things I do too.
Yeah, great. So if you've never been to NCPDP event, we always have a big roast for the outgoing chair. So on Sunday night, we had a big stack of all your hats that you had on. So
Yeah.
That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun, and thank you for everything you do, Christian. So I don't
It's
have
a
to.
it's a team effort.
team
you know that,
effort,
you know
yeah.
that.
No. My name is Mindy Smith. I work for a nationwide long-term care pharmacy. We take patients that all are receive at-home care. I serve as Senior Vice President of Government and Professional Affairs for A New Health, and just took the gavel from Christian to as the new chair of NCPDP. So I'm really looking forward to continuing our work together and building on everything that we've built so far.
Fantastic. So Christian, I know we just went through a big strategic plan, kind of redoing that. You spent your year as a chair. Would love to just kind of have you reflect on your term as board chair. What accomplishments are you most proud of?
Yeah, I mean, as Mindy said and alluded to, it is a team effort. It's not just any one person that makes anything happen. But when you come into a leadership role like this and become the face of an organization and work with a board on things like a strategic plan, you get to impart a little bit of an imprint on it. And that's what we all do as leaders. I came in about a year ago, right, when I was incoming chair, and challenged our organization and the industry to help build and support data exchange, data sets, standards that would help empower and promote the role of the value of the pharmacist, and which is what I see in our industry has been one of our key limitations to the pharmacists realizing their value. And so that was kind of what I asked us to do, and we had elements of that in the previous strategic plan, and we continue to build upon that, and this year's strategic plan definitely leans into that heavy. I think some of the groundwork we laid over the last year around work, year or two really, launching Work Group 20, coordination of care and innovation was something, it was a big lift, and it's coming into its own now, and I think that's probably one of the things I'm really proud of, that we were able to bring something like that to NCPDP, meet all our ANSI accreditation standards, and change it up a little bit to accommodate something that we really hadn't built in the industry yet. So we're seeing that play out, and that's probably the one thing I can point to that was significantly something that happened here.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And I know, I kind of worked on Work Group 20 for a while, which is something very different. So Mindy, you both of you are pharmacists, right? But you kind of have been in the pharmacy practice. You've been with APHA, the American Pharmacists Association Foundation. Would love to just hear kind of with your background and your background in policy and advocacy, kind of how did that shape your vision how is it shaping your vision as you step into this leadership role?
Well, I think, we've been working as a profession for a long time to get pharmacists paid for services. And I think we're hopefully going to see that come to fruition soon. But coupled with that, pharmacists need access to information, and all of the interventions that pharmacists do every single day need to be passed back, shared, and recognized for payment. That is a huge gap. within the pharmacy profession. So advocating 20 years ago when I started the Wyoming Pharmacy Association, it was, I mean, we were doing flu vaccines there then, right? We were starting at the very bottom, right? And look at what we've done from a profession related to immunizations. But all of the trends related to the pressures on drug pricing now and the drug discount program and everything else that Christian has to deal with every single day to help his patients. We have to figure this out, and we have to support clinical services because pharmacists are America's safety net. And without pharmacists, people would die every single day related to medication use without all of their interventions that they provide. So I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, no, that's great. Yeah. And I mean, that's the big thing, right, that I'm so excited about with this new 3-year strategic plan, right? Because, of course, our standards are always going to be there. But, as an organization, what else can we do, right, to support that expanding role of the pharmacists, the clinical services, and kind of collaborating with the rest of the industry. So that's great. It's really, really excited.
Absolutely.
So, Christian, I know, we've talked also just over the past year, actually probably the 3 years that you've been on the board, kind of getting into new areas, AI, digital therapeutics. I think we're planning a session on remote patient monitoring. Would love to just kind of get your thoughts on that, both as a pharmacist and also just kind of thinking of, I know you're back on the board again as a board member, so how you kind of think about those areas.
Yeah, I think there's not an industry around that is not going to be affected by the impact of Gen AI and some of these newer, repetitive task reducing activities. We're seeing the emergence of some really sophisticated models now, and I think that's important for us to understand, both as a standards organization, but also what its impact is on our membership and those in the ecosystem that are either using it or not using it. We all know we're going to have to adopt it in some way, and I think that we've spent a fair amount of time doing that. I mean, in the last year, we launched a special committee under our board called on this topic of AI. The intention was there to ensure that not only that we had an organizational posture around it, that we understood some of the policy things happening both in the general world, regulatory, but also at the federal level, and then how is it going to be used from a technology standpoint? How are our members needing to use it, and is there a way that we as a standards organization can support that? I think digital therapeutics is very similar to that. It's something that's emerging fast. There's tons of digital therapeutic providers. They're caught up in the AI topic because of their algorithms and some of the regulatory pieces there. I do think that that's going to be something that emerges more with us. Some organizations that participate here are really helping educate everyone here, but certainly me. But it's actually, this is what's emerging even in the front line of the pharmacy. We're dealing with this daily. So.
Yeah, excellent. And Mindy, one of your favorite topics is PGX. So would love to kind of have you, I know you in your speech also said that you're very passionate about that. So I know that we've done a little bit of work here at NCPDP, but thoughts on that as you're coming in as chair of the board with the PGX?
Thank you. Yeah, no, I get really frustrated that we still are dispensing medications when we know there's specific medications out there that you need to have a genomics test on, and it's all about the exchange of data and getting that information, also engaging that patient so they understand that it's their enzymes in their liver and stomach, not anything else beyond, right? It's just how do their bodies metabolize or activate drugs. And I just cannot believe in this day and age we're prescribing medications, but the system doesn't incentivize it, it doesn't standardize it, and I think we have a real opportunity with the standards, with the initiative related to what the pharmacy
right.
PTI. I didn't want to say PTI, but yeah.
Yep.
How does that? Is that a launching pad for the work that Kelly and John have done in the PGX task group to put this into play so that all of the pharmacogenomics labs and companies that are supporting this have a streamlined way to scale, and we as a country, and with pharmacists being an advocate, could be that front line to really ensure patients' medications are not only the right medications, but they actually work.
They actually work, yeah. So what Mindy's referring to is our Pharmacy Technology Innovation Task Group, which is under the new Work Group 20 that Christian mentioned. And we're looking at that as kind of a little bit different way to run things, right? And so we're talking about doing some beta testing, maybe doing some interesting things around PGX. You know, there's lots of ideas that are coming out, which is great. So thanks for their reference to that. All right, so I know we're about to wrap up, so I'd like both of you to kind of touch on this. What's your message to NCPDP membership and just the healthcare industry in general? I know, you know, one of our kind of strategic goals is to make sure people, you know, payers, health plans, providers, even other tech vendors realize, right, that NCPDP is a convening place. So we'd love to just hear both of your thoughts on kind of the message to the community on, you know, what's important now and what comes next.
So, so the way I look at this, you know, we have probably the nation's largest gaggle of subject matter experts on topics related to pharmacy, and this is where I feel like everybody connected to healthcare, if they want to interface with pharmacy or need to, they should be convening here, to your point. I also believe that we, within our sector of the healthcare ecosystem, have a real opportunity to work together, band together using all this technology that we've built, and utilize it in a more outward way, combine and reposition how we work together in and around data exchange, and help solve some of the larger healthcare ecosystem challenges that are out there regarding data. So our contributions really can have a big impact, not only in and amongst our own industry, but sector of the industry, but also further out. So I've tried to foster that spirit, you know, in the last few years here, and I'll continue to do it. And I think that's the way all boats start to rise, and there's plenty of business opportunity to go around, and we might find that the next 40 years are even more successful than the last 40 years.
Yeah, fantastic.
Well,
All right,
I love
Mindy?
that. No, I you know, from a opportunity perspective, and if you look at national pharmacy associations and organizations, because of our ANSI accreditation, we bring these really two entities initially that, you know, we brought the pharmacy benefit managers and community pharmacy for the purpose of creating access to medications. And if we keep focusing on the patient, and we can take the model that we've built, to your point, bring in health plans, bring in providers, bring in patients. We have such an opportunity to keep building on this consensus model that we have that is a gem for the pharmacy industry that doesn't exist anywhere else. So I think I'm excited about being able to play a little part in that and see where it goes, as Christian said.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you both, Christian, for all the great work for the past year. And I, like I said, I know you're back on the board again, so I know you're not going anywhere. And Mindy, of course, excited for you to be coming in as chair. So thank you both for
Pooja.
joining me today, and great conversation.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Pooja.
Thank you.
That's a wrap on this episode of NCPDP Unscripted. Thanks for joining us as we explore the voices and ideas driving innovation in healthcare. If you'd like to be a guest on the show or have topic ideas you'd love to hear us cover, we want to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and stay unscripted. Our podcast is proudly sponsored by Marks Productions.